available, and let's go to Ben Bradshaw with some of that.
They are.
So in the absence of a transport bill,
Yes.
and given that we're lagging years behind every other developed country now, when can we hope for the regulation of e-scooters?
So that's at the top of my list for this, if you like, narrower future of transport bill.
In this session?
Yes, that's what we're pitching for. So we hope, as ever, with PBL, you know it as well as I do, you have to keep pushing it, but that's very much...
Same question on the menace of pavement parking, which again has been around for years.
So again, it's as I said earlier, that's an area which I consider is really important to get right. And I think as we see more of these, not only things like e-scooters, but we make sure that multimodal crossover with pavement is something that we really get right, and that's what I've asked the team to think about in a streamlined bill, what we should be bringing forwards to ensure that we can really demonstrate clearly through legislation how that is managed.
When can we expect the government to respond to the consultation which closed 2 years ago?
Interesting. I don't noted.
It keeps extending the consultation.
Does it? Okay.
So
Right,
it's
I'll
never
pick that, I'll pick that up.
No, on pavement parking, it closed 2 years ago.
I will pick that up. Thank you, Ben.
It closed in November 2020.
Yeah,
we've been waiting for 2 years for your department to respond to this consultation, which is a matter of major public interest for all of our constituents.
Maybe it's just as well it hasn't, because I have very strong views on the subject. So
Excellent.
That's a good thing.
It's
been waiting for
strong
me,
views in
perhaps.
favour of doing something or not
Yes, doing something.
Excellent.
And that was the way the consultation was tilted. The government were looking to do this.
Good.
So it always feels like everything's there
Go
apart from the
dig it
legislation.
out of said cupboard.
Yeah, just
So green growth,
Yes.
your priorities.
Yes.
Nothing more will deliver more for you than active travel on this agenda in your department, let me suggest. So we were pleased to hear you last week confirm you're still committed to the 3.8 billion, but things have been changing very quickly since then, as you know, with the new Chancellor. Is that still a commitment?
So the commitment to active travel is absolutely clear, and as Lucy set out in the questions at Transport Orals, both where we've spent and of course how we continue to do that. It's an interesting piece as I
So the
get into the
3.8 billion still stands? It's
Yes,
not,
and of course
you're not offering that up to the Chancellor, any of that up to the Chancellor?
No, but what we need to understand, of course, it's not a lot of it comes in lots of different ways. So one of the challenges as we support the Chancellor and his challenges to understand where that's being delivered most effectively. A lot of it isn't only in DFT, if that makes sense. So we want to make sure that we're doing that as coherently as possible so that we can continue to drive forward what is a very clear and, as you say, very
quite a lot of
agenda.
it's been delivered at local government level, and there are currently 1,500 proposals waiting to go ahead, waiting for your department to improve. So when are you going to improve the fourth active travel fund?
So they've completed that first assessment, and I think I'm just looking at the stats here for you. I don't think you've got them to hand, Gareth, you're the expert on this. There are 35 local authorities ranked levels 2 and 3, and 31 at level 1, so the sort of starting level, if you like. So we're now able to start to make progress with that. So I can't give you a date yet, but it's very much at the heart of what we're doing. I don't know if you've got anything else.
Not much more to add on that. We're looking to come forward as soon as possible.
What are you waiting for?
We have to go through the assessment, and there's still evaluation to be done
By the Treasury?
by us.
Tranche 4.
Four.
We
This
understand.
is
It was
tranche
signed
4.
off by the
It was
previous
signed
Secretary
off
of
by the
State.
previous Secretary of State.
Obviously, there's a new government, so we need to take this through ministers.
Beg your pardon?
It's a new government, so we need to take this through ministers.
It's not a new government. You've been in government for 12 years. This was signed off by a previous Secretary of State. These projects are ready to go. You say you want green growth. Just get on with it. May I suggest before the Chancellor claws the money back?
Noted, we will be working through and making sure that we do that, and under Baroness Veer's careful oversight, and you know she is a great champion of all of this, so we will make progress as quickly as we can.
Your colleague Simon Clarke has threatened to withdraw statutory consultee status from Active Travel England. Is that something that you will stop him doing?
So we are in discussions at the moment on a wide range of potential planning changes, simplifications and streamlinings, and nothing has been decided yet.
But, I mean, do you acknowledge that if your priorities are green growth, then removing statutory consultee status from Active Travel England for major travelling applications would be an absolute disaster.
As I say, we're in discussions at the moment with DLUC and others about how we can most effectively deliver the agenda we want to deliver by looking at the streamlining of the planning system where it can be done, not by taking away any authority or reducing standards, but by streamlining so that we can go at a greater pace to deliver these projects. And therefore, to do that, we want to make sure that the right voices are in the system.
Thanks.
Thank you. We had Chris Boardman before us.
Oh, did
We
you?
were very
Excellent.
impressed, it's fair to say.
Good.
He's a doer, and he'll end up doing green projects better than has been done before.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
perhaps Simon
Yeah,
Clark
yeah.
could meet him, and I think he'd have a change of heart, is all I'd say.
Yeah.
Right,
No,
let's.
that's all, Hugh.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to focus on road safety. During her election campaign this summer, the now currently Prime Minister, talked about scrapping speed limits. Are you pursuing this strategy?
It's not something that's at the front of my agenda at the moment, no.
Thank you. Because that concerned a lot of people. The now demised transport bill was, according to Baroness Veer, going to include the creation of the Road Safety Investigation Branch, which was very much welcomed by many. With the bill going, what chance do we have of that branch being created, given it needs legislation to do so?
So, as I say, we're at the moment looking at all of these things and trying to work out how we can most effectively streamline the most urgent and important ones that will... Safety is always, at the top of what DFT does. But then the next ones are about the future of, those future developments. So, where there are, if you like, a list of things, safety is always at the top of my list.
Thank you. And road safety campaigners are also waiting, and have been waiting for some time, for the road safety strategic framework and also casualty reduction targets. We're one of the few equivalent countries that does not have targets for casualty reduction. Are there any plans to bring both of these forward?
Let me take that away. That hasn't met my desk yet, so let me take that away. I'm working my way through all of these. I don't know if any of you want to pick that up, but I think that's I'm literally trying to synthesise all of what was in the transport bill into how we move forward.
So I think there'll be a lot of members from across the House who will be seeking answers to those questions.
That will be very helpful. Thank you for highlighting that.